That's the $64,000 question. Uh, I think the issue has come back on the political radar. It fell off after the midterm elections 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now, largely because of economic concerns. And I think it's true. The economy is getting better. It's recovering. So that's one issue. President Obama isn't concerned about reelection, and he has brought it back on the agenda. You know, the inaugural address. There's not much. There's not many more forums that are more highly visible than a presidential inauguration. So he purposefully mentioned that in his speech and actually gave it some thought and spoke about it at some length. And he did that for a reason. Why? Well, we're just going to have to see. I think there's still a lot of resistance in Congress to doing anything on climate change, particularly in the House, which is controlled by the Republicans. But even in the Senate, it seems like even in the last couple of weeks, there hasn't been a lot of appetite to do too much in terms of legislation, but although there's a flurry of activity. So I think if we're looking for some grand legislative program, more than likely that's probably not going to happen. There are things that the administration can do with executive power in terms of regulations. The Environmental Protection Agency has been active already over the last couple of years addressing climate change. They have several more opportunities coming up. Really, in just a couple of months, they're going to have to issue a regulation addressing greenhouse gas emissions from power plants, and then new power plants, I should say. And then a big issue after that is what do you do about the existing power plants? Because not many coal-fired power plants are going to be built in the future. So that regulation that's coming up in the next couple of months won't probably have a big impact. But there are more than 1,200 coal-fired electricity generating units around the country, which are an enormous source of pollution. And what is EPA going to do about those? So I think when we hear what the administration has to say on an issue like that, we'll get a better sense, I think, of what to expect. And just following up on the inaugural address of the president, he'll be giving a State of the Union address in a couple of weeks. Beyond that, there's the proposed budget for next year. These are all more policy scenarios that we'll learn more from. So whether it's a big legislative program, probably not, but there are things that he can do through executive action. So we'll find out more.